I want to start with a simple yet powerful question for all of you. What does success mean to you? Think about that for a second. What does success mean to you? Not what it means to your parents, not what it means to your teachers, although they have great interest in your future. Not what it means to that TikToker that you follow that's got a rented Lamborghini and dyed blonde hair. Not what it means to those old corporate people on LinkedIn that are judging you for your every move. But have you stopped to define it? What is your definition of success? So for a moment, let's do a little activity here. Close your eyes. Imagine your dream of success clearly in your mind, but for this very moment, you've already achieved it. Picture it right now. Who's there to celebrate with you? What do you see? What do you hear? And what do you feel in that moment of triumph? Open your eyes. That feeling right there that you just felt, and it gave me goosebumps, maybe it did to you too, that's what I want to talk about here today. You know, success is one of the many things that we chase, and more importantly, without question, it's one of the key things that makes us human. You know, defining success is like charting your own course through life. If you don't define it for yourself, someone else will do it for you. And trust me, that's never a recipe for fulfillment. Now, for me, learning what success looked like, and more importantly, how to persistently chase it, took, well, trial, error, trial, success over and over and over again, and still trying to define and map out what success looks like. So today I want to share a lesson I've learned along my own bumpy road. It's how relentless perseverance and defining your own version of success can guide you through even the most difficult seasons in life. It's about taking ownership of your success through what I like to call the ladders of life. So, where did it all start? Felt like it was yesterday. I was 14 years old. I had gotten my first job, and I started as a short order cook at a community poolside shack. It was awesome. And to some, cooking up burgers or putting onion rings in the fryer doesn't seem like much, but to me, it was something so powerful, and it built two words for me that I'll never forget today, and that's responsibility and pride. So it wasn't much longer until I transitioned into fancier restaurants. I loved to cook. And I went from the big restaurant down the road to an even fancier one up top, and it was fast-paced, it was a hot kitchen, there were loads of experienced chefs inside, and there was no room to hesitate or mess up, and I absolutely loved it, every bit of it. Now, promotions followed. First it was chef, and then it was head line chef, and then it was assistant sous chef, all before I turned 18 years old. Now, that job wasn't glamorous, but it taught me something I carried into every stage of my life. Work hard, stay consistent, and push a little bit harder than everyone else when they may have thrown in the towel. And what I didn't know then, but what I do know now, is that it was building a muscle. That muscle for perseverance. You know, if you can see, it's a tattoo of perseverance on this muscle there. It wasn't about the titles or even the paychecks. It was about realizing that I had the ability to create progress by outlasting all the challenges in front of me. Now, fast forward a few years later, I was graduated from college, I had an engineering degree, and success by all definitions seemed to be real close. The corporate ladder that we all know of, right? That corporate ladder would offer me that next logical step to climb. And that phrase I heard so often over all the years, over my yearly review, well, just keep doing what you're doing, just didn't resonate with me. It wasn't good enough. I wanted more, I wanted direction, and I wanted to climb that ladder higher. Now, there isn't just one ladder to success. In fact, I believe there's three inevitable truths, or ladders, and you're going to face all of them at some point. These are the ladders of life. So you can hope to keep climbing the ladder, the first on the left, that corporate ladder where you go in and right out of college and you stay there for your entire career and you work your way up in your salary and then you retire and you go home and eat the same meatloaf and mashed potatoes you have been for 40 years. And that's okay. That next ladder is, you may say, that's not good enough for me and I want to jump from one career to the next or state to the next or anything along those lines. And that's okay. And that third ladder is, you could be climbing higher and higher and higher, and you may get pushed off that ladder or kicked off that ladder. I experienced all three. Now, when I landed my first corporate engineering role, I was relentless. This is one of the two words I'm going to bring up over and over again through the next couple slides. First one in the office, last one out, and I was always exceeding expectations. Now, I approached life like a personal competition, always striving, always reaching for higher ground. That word average, not my vocabulary, no way. And if there was a ladder, I wanted to be the absolute best at it. I wanted to climb it the fastest, I wanted to outdo everyone. I wasn't going to be average, not on my watch. So promotions came, salary increases came, along with new responsibilities, and I began to get skilled at what I began knowing was my specialty: problem solving, managing, help lead small teams, understanding what are the pain points that people have, what is the solution to get them to the desired outcome. And if you know marketing terms, that's a real popular one right there. But here's the thing that no one warns you about when you're chasing someone else's definition of success. At some point, that ladder begins to feel hollow, frail. And my hard work was rewarded, yes, and salaries came, like I mentioned. But I looked around and realized that my purpose, my ladder for success was getting lost along the way. I wasn't building the life that I envisioned when I started out. Then it became clear to me. I wanted to build things, I wanted to solve problems, I wanted to see the solutions that people couldn't see for themselves, and I wanted to take action on it. So after 13 years of corporate work on the East Coast and through 2 different industries, I decided I was going to jump off the ladder. Now, this ladder didn't have to be for corporate, but it was just a big move that I was willing to take and change. Now, 4 years ago, my now wife and I, we moved to Dallas, Texas, which is the best city in the country, to pursue what I wanted to do was another corporate ladder. I'm going to come out here, I'm going to do corporate a little bit longer, I'm going to focus on what I really want, my purpose, my passion. And there was something bigger out here. I knew there was. I was surrounded by entrepreneurs, creative thinkers, like-minded, successful people, and the common phrase I heard all too often was, "What can I do to help?" I heard that all the time out here. I loved it. Way different than the East Coast mentality. I wanted to build my own ladder. I wanted to define it. I wanted it to match with my purpose. And the idea of stepping off to launch my own marketing agency, which is what I had in my mind, not only was thrilling, but it was terrifying. And I needed to map out what to do. Now, starting something new means you face steep climbs in that ladder, of course. But this time, they're on your terms. In this case, it was on my terms, or so I thought. And that's how I lived for a while. Each and every day, taking bold steps, growing in my corporate journey, climbing that ladder. At the same time, I was starting as a freelancer in my soon-to-be marketing agency. I was giving testimonials. I was saving the money. I had it all planned out. And I was rediscovering that energy that I instilled in myself from when I was 14 years old in that kitchen flipping burgers. That same powerful energy. And just as I started to think, I nailed it. I got it covered. I know what the next step is. Piece of cake. Life gave me a very hard reminder of that third truth. One day I found myself face to face with an unexpected crash. Did not see this coming. A former employer of mine, one who I'd left with integrity, honor, respect, decided they're going to file a frivolous lawsuit against me that I can't handle in an act of jealousy. A legal battle ensued. It broke me. I didn't know what to do. They're not coming after my corporate job I'm in that I was planning to leave at this point in time, and that was down the road, and I was going into an office meeting where I thought I was going to get promoted to COO, and I was fired. This is 4 months before I got married. Everything I thought I prepared for went out the window. And I instilled in myself at a young age to do the right thing, to work hard, to be honest. What happened? Suddenly I was in a whirlwind that threatened everything that I'd worked so hard for. I was like standing in the eye of a storm with nothing to hold on to. What do I do? Now here's the thing about being pushed off that ladder, and I say pushed, I was kicked off that ladder. Like some of you may know Jean-Claude Van Damme. I felt like a real swift kick right in the back. I did not see it coming, right to the bottom. This ladder that I had built, the 10,000 rungs up to the very top. I had built it, it was robust. It was exactly what I wanted. And then, there's my movie sound effects, all the way to the bottom, face first right in the mud. That hurt. My confidence took a hit. Finances get tough. And it's easy to drown in self-doubt. And for many nights I questioned why this happened to me after my recipe for successful ladder building worked for years before. I got great salary bumps, I got increases in my titles, I mapped it out, I was making people proud, I was making myself proud. What happened? But when everything that you build gets shaken, you're left with one defining question. Are you going to stay down, or are you going to get back up? Now, it was in those quiet moments, those grueling nights I remembered, what is my dream of success? Am I following it? Is it real? I wasn't chasing anyone's ladder anymore. It was over. My success wasn't about titles, paychecks, or approval, or anything like that. It was about building something that meant importance to me, my passion, my life, my future. Something that I could have my family proud of, my son proud of, me proud of myself. Now, this shift in mindset, this is what I needed. My success didn't have to be like anyone else's. You didn't have to map it that way, it just had to be mine. And it had to resonate with me. Just like everyone in this room, when you closed your eyes and thought of your success, I'm going to bet not two of you had the exact identical thing that went through your mind. It has to resonate with you. And once I truly defined my own success, I'm still redefining it, that's when my resilience kicked in. And I rebranded my marketing agency that I started kicked off. I went back to the drawing board. I redid my go-to-market strategy. I got more testimonials. I poured all of my energy into making this work. And the phrase that's so true, I left my 9 to 5 to work 24/7 was exactly what I was doing. I was working 24/7 on this. All my energy to prove that I could make it work, to build my own next ladder. Now, I want to share with you all the 3 pivotal lessons that have carried me through my rise and fall so far. 1, define your ladder. First and foremost, you need to figure out, what does success look like to you? You took a few seconds mapping it out earlier. What does it really look like to you? Is it financial security? Is it creative freedom? Is it helping others? Is it traveling the world? If you don't know what you're chasing, you risk climbing a ladder that leads to nowhere satisfying. And that's not a recipe for fulfillment. Number 2, expect setbacks. Now, we all know this. Life isn't perfect. It'll never hand you a smooth sailing all the way to the top. Prepare yourself for those times where you'll stumble, or when someone or something knocks you off course. Setbacks are not the end. Think of it as an invitation to rebuild stronger than before. And number 3, relentless perseverance, right? Retain that. Just 2 words, relentless perseverance. Know this, obstacles, they will test you, and doubt will creep in. But if you build that muscle for perseverance that I mentioned, like I did flipping burgers or growing a marketing agency or restarting over again, you'll find that you're capable of doing so much more than what you think you can handle. Keep showing up, keep adapting, and keep defining the definition of your success. Now, I want to leave you with this final thought here. Success isn't a single destination. No, you can't go on Google Maps and type in success and there it is, 45 minutes away, you're good. No. To me, success was a lifelong progress and process of defining, refining, and persisting. Some days you'll climb a ladder one rung at a time, some other days you'll jump off and build a new one, and on the worst of days, you will get kicked off or pushed off. And it's in those very moments where you have to ask yourself, do I have what it takes? Am I going to rebuild again? And you will be able to. You'll be able to climb even higher, even after the fall. So, no matter where life takes you, define success on your own terms. Write it down. Wrap it closely to your heart and protect it fiercely. Because once you know what you're working for, you know you'll realize that you're meant to handle that climb even after the fall. And when you're standing in those moments of doubt, remind yourself of this affirmation that I told myself over and over and over and over again, staring at myself in the mirror, wondering if I had what it took. You have what it takes to succeed. Keep climbing, keep building, and chase the success that's yours. Thank you.